Chapter 1. Introduction Discovery. In the southern reaches of Peru lies one of the most enigmatic landscapes on Earth. Stretching across hundreds of square kilometers of parched desert, the Nazca lines appear at first glance to be simple scratches in the sand. Yet as the sun rises, long shadows reveal massive figures, perfectly formed spirals, and geometric shapes that only fully emerge when viewed from the sky. These lines were first brought to modern attention in the 1920s when pilots flying commercial routes over the desert noticed unusual patterns etched into the barren ground. To the untrained eye, they seemed random, perhaps natural cracks in the desert crust. But repeated flights revealed something astonishing. Some lines were straight for several kilometers, intersecting with others at precise angles, while figures resembling hummingbirds, spiders, and monkeys sprawled across the landscape in astonishing detail. Maria Reiche, a German mathematician and archaeologist who arrived in Peru in the 1940s, would spend over 50 years meticulously mapping, measuring, and preserving the geoglyphs. She noted that the lines were not haphazard. Each one had a deliberate form, size, and orientation. The hummingbird, for instance, stretches over 90 meters from wingtip to wingtip, while the spider geoglyph measures nearly 50 meters across. Reiche's work proved that these designs required planning, knowledge of geometry, and a remarkable understanding of scale, astonishing for a civilization that existed nearly 2,000 years ago. Yet the Nazca lines have never stopped inspiring debate. Some claim that they were alien runways, theories popularized in the 1960s and 70s, while others suggested lost civilizations or mystical energy grids. While intriguing, such ideas often distract from the cultural and archaeological significance of the lines. Instead, careful study shows that they are deeply human creations, reflecting ritual, belief, and societal organization. By the mid-20th century, the Nazca lines had become globally famous, featured in international magazines and documentaries. Scholars, tourists, and enthusiasts alike were drawn to the desert to glimpse these monumental designs. Even today, new generations of researchers continue to study them, using modern tools to reveal secrets that eluded Reiche and her contemporaries. The mystery remains. Why were these lines created, and what messages did they hold for those who made them? To understand, we must first examine the intricate designs themselves. Chapter 2. The designs and their meanings. The Nazca lines are not a single design, but an entire landscape of art. From vast straight lines stretching for kilometers to intricate figures of animals and humans, the desert is covered in patterns that are both beautiful and mysterious. The lines fall into three broad categories: straight lines, geometric shapes, and biomorphs. Straight lines, some exceeding 20 kilometers, intersect at precise angles, forming networks that suggest careful planning rather than random scratches. Geometric shapes, trapezoids, triangles, and spirals appear throughout the desert, their purposes still debated by scholars. And then there are the biomorphs, animals, humans, and abstract figures drawn on a monumental scale. Among the most famous figures is the hummingbird, whose long, pointed wings and slender body seem almost impossibly precise. Measuring over 90 meters from tip to tip, it exemplifies the Nazca artist's mastery of scale. Nearby, the spider, with its long legs and delicate detailing, stretches across nearly 50 meters. There's also the monkey, a spiraling-tailed creature whose form is replicated in Nazca pottery, suggesting a symbolic or spiritual significance. The selection of animals is telling. Birds, monkeys, and reptiles often appear in the iconography of the Nazca region. Some species may have been associated with fertility, rain, or water, vital concerns in a desert environment. The inclusion of these creatures hints at a culture deeply connected to nature and its cycles. Some geoglyphs appear to align with celestial events, For instance, certain lines point toward the rising or setting sun at solstices. While a few lines may have functioned as seasonal markers, statistical analysis shows that most alignments are coincidental rather than precise astronomical guides. This has led researchers to conclude that the Nazca lines were not primarily an observatory, but that some astronomical knowledge may have been incorporated symbolically. Fringe theories have long captivated the public. From the 1960s onward, popular writers suggested that the lines were alien landing strips or messages for extraterrestrial visitors. These ideas, though sensational, overlook cultural evidence. Archaeological research demonstrates that the lines correspond to the rituals, beliefs, and environmental needs of the Nazca people. They are profoundly human creations, not otherworldly constructs. Another fascinating aspect is layering. Many lines overlap or intersect, indicating that different generations of Nazca artists added to the landscape over centuries. The oldest lines may have served one purpose: ritual processions or offerings, while newer additions expanded the sacred map of the desert. This layering suggests that the desert was a living canvas, evolving with the culture over time. Even the act of creating these geoglyphs is remarkable. Workers scraped away dark stones to reveal lighter soil beneath, forming durable lines without modern tools. The precision required to maintain proportion over hundreds of meters suggests careful planning and perhaps the use of simple surveying tools, like stakes and ropes, to guide the work. In essence, the Nazca lines are a vast open-air gallery. Each line, each animal, and each geometric shape represents an intentional choice, a reflection of cultural beliefs, and a connection to the environment. They were designed to communicate something profound, whether to the gods, to nature, or to the community itself, and their enduring mystery continues to captivate people worldwide. To understand their purpose more fully, we must now explore the theories that have emerged over decades of research theories that attempt to decode the messages written in sand. Chapter 3. Theories about purpose. The question that has captivated scholars, travelers, and enthusiasts for decades is deceptively simple. Why were the Nazca lines created? Archaeologists and researchers have proposed a variety of explanations, each reflecting different aspects of Nazca society and their relationship with the desert, ritual pathways, and ceremonial use. Some of the straight lines and trapezoids may have been ritual pathways. Evidence suggests that groups of people could walk these paths during ceremonies, perhaps retracing mythological journeys or performing rituals to honor deities. Observations of wear patterns along certain lines indicate repeated use, hinting at processions and ceremonial movement across the desert. Imagine hundreds of participants walking in silence across the desert floor, each step echoing with meaning, every line connecting them to the spiritual world above and around them: water, fertility, and agriculture. Water was essential in the arid Nazca region, and many researchers believe the geoglyphs were connected to water-related rituals. The Nazca built sophisticated underground aqueducts called puquios to supply water to their fields. Some geoglyphs, particularly animal figures, may have symbolized rain, rivers, or fertility, serving as ceremonial appeals to deities to ensure agricultural abundance. Animals such as hummingbirds, llamas, or frogs may have carried symbolic meanings tied to life, abundance, and rain. Through these images, the Nazca people could communicate with forces beyond human control, reinforcing their relationship with the environment and the gods. Astronomical alignments. Some researchers, including Maria Reike, noted that certain lines aligned with celestial events, such as the solstices or equinoxes. These alignments could have served practical purposes, helping mark seasonal changes vital for planting and harvesting. However, most lines do not point to specific astronomical events. The statistical evidence suggests that while a few lines may have been used as solar or stellar markers, the majority of the geoglyphs were not intended as a complete celestial map. Instead, astronomical elements may have been integrated symbolically, blending spiritual belief with observational knowledge, cultural and mythological expression. Another perspective emphasizes the symbolic and mythological importance of the lines. The repetition of certain motifs, monkeys, hummingbirds, spiders, reflects imagery found in Nazca textiles, pottery, and other art forms. By transposing these motifs onto the desert floor, the Nazca created a monumental canvas that reflected cultural identity and spiritual belief. It is also possible that different lines served different functions at different times. Some may have been ceremonial walkways, others offerings to deities, and yet others symbols of social cohesion. The overlapping of lines suggests multiple generations contributed to the geoglyphs, creating a layered narrative spanning centuries. Fringe theories and misinterpretations. Of course, the Nazca lines have also attracted more sensational interpretations. Theories of alien runways, hidden energy grids, or lost civilizations often capture public imagination. While these ideas are widely popularized in books and media, they lack supporting evidence and fail to consider cultural context. Archaeological studies emphasize that the lines were deliberate human creations, grounded in the practical, spiritual, and artistic life of the Nazca people. Far from being extraterrestrial messages, they are a testament to human ingenuity and belief systems. The mystery remains. Despite decades of study, no single theory explains all aspects of the Nazca lines. They likely serve multiple purposes, simultaneously practical, spiritual, ceremonial, and symbolic. Each line, shape, or figure represents a piece of a larger cultural puzzle, a reflection of a society that valued both artistry and ritual, observation and devotion. As we gaze upon the desert today, the lines remind us that the Nazca were not merely surviving. They were expressing, communicating, and leaving a legacy that continues to captivate the world. In the next chapter, we will explore how modern tools and discoveries are revealing new geoglyphs, challenging old assumptions, and helping preserve these incredible creations for future generations. Chapter 4. Modern Discoveries. While the Nazca lines were carefully created centuries ago, they have continued to reveal new secrets even in the modern era. What once seemed fully mapped and understood now yields surprises, thanks to technological advances and relentless curiosity. ERAS, new discoveries through technology. For decades, researchers relied on aerial photography, piloted flights, and careful ground surveys to document the lines. Maria Reich's meticulous hand-drawn maps remain legendary, but modern tools have taken exploration to a new level. Satellites capture high-resolution images, revealing subtle lines invisible from the ground. Drones hover quietly above, scanning every inch of desert terrain with precision cameras. In 2018 and 2019, AI-assisted analysis of aerial images led to the discovery of over 100 previously unknown geoglyphs. Some depicted animals not seen in earlier studies. Others were smaller or hidden between larger, well-known figures. Each discovery reshapes our understanding of the Nazca people, showing them to be far more prolific and experimental than previously imagined. One striking example is a newly identified humanoid figure stretching nearly 50 meters long, with outstretched arms pointing toward a cluster of trapezoids. Its orientation suggests ceremonial or symbolic significance, though its exact meaning remains a mystery. Every new geoglyph tells a story, adding layers to the cultural and spiritual landscape of the desert. Threats to preservation. Despite its isolation, the Nazca Desert is no longer untouched. Vehicles and tourism, though often well-intentioned, have caused damage. In 2018, a truck accidentally drove over a section of the lines, leaving deep tire marks that scarred the desert for decades. Illegal mining operations, seeking minerals or soil, have destroyed previously pristine areas. Even natural forces such as occasional floods or strong winds can erode lines that have stood for nearly 2,000 years. Small disturbances matter. Footprints, litter, and minor disruptions can permanently alter the fragile desert crust. Unlike painted or built structures, the geoglyphs cannot be repaired. Once disturbed, the lines are lost forever. This vulnerability has made preservation a critical concern for both local and global communities. Conservation efforts. To protect the lines, Peru and UNESCO have implemented measures including legal protections, restricted access, and monitoring programs. Observation towers allow visitors to view the lines from above without stepping onto the ground. Local communities are educated about preservation, creating a sense of shared responsibility. Technology is essential but insufficient. While drones and satellites can identify erosion, damage, or new discoveries, they cannot physically shield the lines from harm. Protection relies on human stewardship, enforcing laws, educating visitors, and involving local populations in conservation efforts. The story of Maria Reich offers inspiration. Her decades of work measuring, cleaning, and advocating for international recognition were pivotal in achieving UNESCO World Heritage designation. Her dedication demonstrates that preservation is not only a technical task, but a human commitment, balancing tourism and conservation. Tourism provides vital funding for preservation, but presents ongoing challenges. Tens of thousands of visitors arrive annually, drawn by the allure of mystery and history. Controlled flights, observation decks, and guided tours help mitigate damage. But curiosity can outpace caution. Visitors stepping off paths, climbing dunes, or leaving trash risk harming the delicate lines. Educating tourists about the cultural and historical significance of the lines is critical. Awareness campaigns emphasize respect for the desert and its heritage, reminding visitors that they are witnessing a legacy of human ingenuity, continuing mysteries. Even as we protect the lines, the desert continues to reveal new secrets. Researchers now believe that there may be hundreds of geoglyphs yet undiscovered, hidden by sand, erosion, or subtlety in design. Each new find challenges assumptions about the Nazca people, their culture, and the purpose of their creations. The desert is both a protector and a keeper of secrets, preserving history while quietly withholding it from those who seek to understand it fully. The Nazca lines are more than artifacts. They are living connections to a society that valued art, ritual, and observation. Preservation is not only about keeping lines intact, but about respecting a civilization's ingenuity and ensuring that their messages, known and unknown, endure for generations to come. Chapter 5. Cultural Significance Myths. The Nazca lines are more than ancient geoglyphs etched into the desert. They are enduring symbols of cultural identity, connecting the past with the present and inspiring fascination around the world. Cultural heritage and national identity. For Peru, the Nazca lines are a source of national pride. They appear in textbooks, public art, and even on currency, recognized as treasures of the country's rich history. For local communities, they are a reminder of ancestral ingenuity and spirituality. Modern festivals and traditional rituals often echo the patterns of the geoglyphs, whether in dance formations, textile patterns, or symbolic storytelling. Imagine a festival in a nearby village. Dancers move in spirals and lines that mirror those in the desert, colors and movements reflecting motifs seen in the hummingbird, the monkey, and the spider geoglyphs. In these acts, the ancient past and present day intersect in a living, breathing cultural practice. Even today, some local communities claim descent from the Nazca people. Their traditions, oral histories, and artistic motifs carry echoes of the culture that created these monumental designs. In many ways, the geoglyphs are not relics frozen in time, but active expressions of identity and continuity. artistic influence, and global inspiration. The Nazca lines have also influenced artists worldwide. Contemporary designers incorporate geoglyph motifs into textiles, murals, and fashion. Murals on urban walls in Lima replicate the line's patterns. Clothing lines use geometric shapes inspired by trapezoids and spirals. These modern adaptations are not merely aesthetic. They represent a connection to a culture that valued both symbolism and precision, creativity and ritual. Through these artistic expressions, the legacy of the Nazca people continues to inspire, educate, and delight people far beyond Peru's borders. Myths and mysteries. The global fascination with the Nazca lines has fueled countless myths. UFO enthusiasts have long suggested that the lines were landing strips for alien spacecraft, a theory popularized in the mid-20th century by writers like Erich von Däniken. Other sensational claims posit lost civilizations, secret energy grids, or messages from extraterrestrials. While these stories capture the imagination, archaeological and cultural evidence paints a different picture. The lines were human creations, rooted in the beliefs, rituals, and environmental needs of the Nazca people. Hummingbirds, monkeys, and spiders were symbolic, connected to fertility, water, and nature. Straight lines may have guided ritual processions. Geometric shapes may have represented cosmological or societal structures. Yet myths have a role in preservation. Public fascination draws attention, tourism, and funding for research and protection. While many theories are inaccurate, they have indirectly helped save the lines from neglect, keeping the world looking at these ancient wonders. Maria Reich and dedication to preservation. No discussion of the Nazca line's cultural significance would be complete without Maria Reich. She devoted her life to documenting, cleaning, and advocating for the geoglyphs, often working alone in harsh desert conditions. Her meticulous measurements helped preserve the lines, and her writings brought global awareness to their value. Reich's dedication illustrates that preserving cultural heritage is not just a matter of law or technology, but of human commitment. Without her work, much of the desert's artistry might have been lost or forgotten. Lessons from the past. The Nazca lines remind us of the profound relationship between humans, art, and environment. They demonstrate that creativity can transcend generations, that culture is both fragile and enduring, and that respect for heritage is essential for its survival. They also highlight a universal truth: the past is never truly gone. It is alive in the desert, in local communities, in the inspiration artists draw from it, and in the awe it sparks in those who witness it from above. As we look to the future, the Nazca lines remain a bridge between centuries, a dialogue across time. They are symbols of ingenuity, devotion, and human imagination, a legacy that continues to inspire and challenge us to understand, respect, and preserve the extraordinary heritage of the desert. Chapter 6. Conclusion: the future. For nearly 2 millennia, the Nazca lines have lain etched into the desert floor, silent yet eloquent witnesses to the people who once walked this arid land. They stretch across hundreds of square kilometers, from the smallest spirals to the massive hummingbird, spider, and monkey figures. Each one speaks to a society that mastered precision, symbolism, and ritual in ways that continue to fascinate us today. But the desert that preserved these lines so carefully is no longer as isolated as it once was. Modern pressures, tourism, vehicles, climate change, and development challenge the very existence of these ancient creations, the desert's natural preservation and its limits. The Nazca Desert is one of the driest places on Earth, with less than an inch of rainfall each year. The iron-rich gravel darkens naturally, forming a protective crust over the lighter soil beneath. This crust has helped the line survive centuries of wind, sun, and sand. Yet even a resilient desert has limits. Heavy rains brought by El Niño, vehicle tracks, and unauthorized excavation have caused irreversible damage to previously intact areas. Footprints, litter, and small disturbances can permanently alter the fragile soil. Unlike other forms of art, the geoglyphs cannot be repaired. Each mark is final, emphasizing the delicate balance between human activity and natural preservation, technological discoveries, and insights. Recent decades have brought remarkable technological advances. High-resolution satellites and drones reveal details invisible from the ground. Artificial intelligence has helped researchers identify previously unknown geoglyphs, some tiny, others spanning hundreds of meters. These discoveries show that the Nazca people were far more prolific and experimental than previously imagined. For instance, new humanoid figures and animal shapes suggest a creativity that extended beyond the classic hummingbirds, spiders, and monkeys. Each new line tells a story, expanding our understanding of Nazca society. Yet technology alone cannot protect the lines. Satellites can detect changes and damage, but they cannot prevent vehicles from crossing the desert or flood from cutting channels through it. Preservation requires human vigilance, enforcement, and cultural stewardship. Tourism, blessing and challenge. Tourism brings both support and risk. Tens of thousands of visitors each year generate revenue, raise awareness, and fund conservation. Observation towers and guided flights allow tourists to appreciate the lines without stepping on them. But curiosity can outpace caution. Visitors stepping off designated paths, climbing dunes, or leaving trash can damage delicate areas. Education is essential. Each tourist must understand that they are interacting with a living cultural legacy, not a static historical artifact. The story of the Nazca lines is a shared responsibility. Their survival depends on everyone from local communities to international researchers, from casual tourists to policymakers, embracing respect, caution, and care, cultural significance, and legacy. The lines are more than ancient markings. They are a bridge between past and present, a living testament to creativity, belief, and human ingenuity. Local festivals and rituals echo the shapes of the geoglyphs, continuing a dialogue that began centuries ago. Artists worldwide continue to draw inspiration from the lines, incorporating their forms into textiles, murals, and fashion. Each representation keeps the Nazca legacy alive, connecting contemporary culture with an ancient past. Even myths, from alien runways to lost civilizations, serve a purpose. While inaccurate, they draw attention, spark curiosity, and ultimately help preserve the lines by keeping the world engaged with these monumental creations, where preservation lessons and responsibility. The preservation of the Nazca lines is not just a technical challenge, it is a human responsibility. Maria Rijke's decades of meticulous work exemplify the power of dedication. She measured, cleaned, and documented the lines, bringing global awareness that led to UNESCO World Heritage status. Her story reminds us that safeguarding history is not only about tools and technology, it is about commitment, curiosity, and respect. The desert is fragile and the lines are finite. Each generation must choose to protect them. The future of the Nazca lines. Even now, the desert continues to hold secrets. Researchers believe hundreds of geoglyphs remain hidden, waiting to be discovered beneath sand or subtle patterns. Each new find deepens our understanding of the Nazca people, their beliefs, and their artistic ingenuity. The question is not only how they were made, but how they will survive. Climate change, human activity, and natural erosion will continue to exert pressure. Vigilance, stewardship, and education are essential to ensure that these lines endure for generations to come. The Nazca lines are offerings, symbols, messages, and inspirations. They connect us to a civilization that thought deeply about life, nature, and the cosmos. Preserving them is more than protecting lines in the sand. It is preserving a dialogue across time, a testament to human creativity that continues to inspire awe. Whether these lines endure depends on our choices. Respect, vigilance, and shared responsibility will determine if they remain visible to future generations or fade quietly beneath the desert sands. In the end, the Nazca lines are lines in both the desert and in time, fragile yet enduring, linking past, present, and future in a silent, remarkable testament to humanity.